Hello everybody, this is Chief Meteorologist Andrew Pinero, outside in what I would call the calm before the storm. So we do have some rain coming tonight, along with what seems like some summer-like temperatures tomorrow. There was an earthquake today. There's storms, potentially severe storms coming through on Monday. We got a lot to talk about, so let's head inside the mobile weather office and take a peek. All right, so outside in the mobile weather office, let's take a quick peek at some things. And first I want to start off here with that 7.7 magnitude earthquake in Burma or Myanmar. So I know I had a lot of followers from Myanmar on Verizon Fios when I was doing the weather on there. But I want to just mention real quick the aftershocks. So this is what you still have to expect in this area. Magnitude 7 plus 6%, a little higher at 40% with 6 plus, but 3% and 4%, greater than 99% chance of an aftershock. Magnitude 5 plus, a 97% chance of an aftershock. So they still have quite a bit of chances of some destruction this week. So my thoughts go out to everybody there. I hope everybody can try and escape or evacuate as much as they can, because it looks like there's still going to be quite a bit of aftershocks there. All right, so moving on from there, our National Weather Service, right around the New York City area, will start. We have a couple of things. We have a hazardous weather outlook and the special weather statement. Now, this isn't necessarily for tonight. We have just general rain. But tomorrow, the combination of high temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s, southwest winds 15 to 20 miles per hour, with frequent gusts of 25 to 35 miles per hour, relative humidity values of 30 to 35%, and the lack of wetting rain over the last 4 days will create an elevated risk for brush fire spread across the region Saturday morning into the afternoon. So that's the big thing there. So that is the special weather, not the special, the hazardous weather. That's the special weather statement there, which is pretty much in the entire area. Now the hazardous weather outlook, this is really just air temperatures will rise into the 70s, low 80s across the region, so it'll feel like summer. However, water temperatures remain in the 40s and the 50s. Cold water temperatures can quickly cause hypothermia, so that is what the hazardous weather outlook is all about there. So you got to keep that in mind. If while you are thinking you can just go swimming in the ocean, it's still going to be cold. Or if you're in the lake, out in the mountains, it's still going to be cold. So that's the hazardous weather outlook, and that's kind of the case when we take a look around. So going northeast, we have that special weather statement and the hazardous weather outlook going there, but we also, going a bit more north into New England, winter weather advisories and a winter storm warning. There's quite a bit of diversity in this weather forecast. Heavy mixed precipitation expected, total snow accumulations of up to 1 inch, sleet accumulations around 1/2 inch. So that's quite a bit that's going to happen over there. Continuing a little bit over here, now Albany area, not too much there, but going up a little bit more, still winter weather advisories. All right, again, heading back to the New York City area. All right, continuing on here, on the radar right now, we do have some rain on the radar. Started with some little sprinkles there. It's starting to pick up a little bit more, so we're going to start seeing this rain coming through the New York City region a little bit, just a little bit from now. All right, so up a little bit more north, not as steady, but still some showers out there. So this is really the case we're going to be seeing in a little bit. So all that rain's going to keep progressing pretty much just due west to east, and that's going to be our rain for tonight. That's not what's coming up with the severe weather, though. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Expanding it out just a little bit on the national radar, we can kind of see there's a couple of arches here. So that's that first line that's making its way west to east. There's another line coming through here, and that, as it makes its way north, that's where we started seeing, going into, say, Vermont and New Hampshire, winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories. Now on the GFS, I'm only going to show the two here, the GFS and the NAM on the good old tropical tidbits, just because we're only looking at the weekend outlook here. So on the GFS, this is showing 6Z Saturday, so it would be 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where we're seeing just some showers throughout the area. Continuing through here, there is our winter storm as we head up a bit more north. That freezing line is more north, but there's quite intense snow mixing and sleeting happening right in there. So that is something to keep an eye out for. As this keeps going, it starts to dissipate going into tomorrow afternoon. Then we start seeing some showers come up a little bit more overnight Saturday into Sunday. So that's where we passed already the high temperatures for tomorrow. And going into Sunday, we're starting to get some more westerly flow here. We could kind of make out a front here with the kinkiness in the isobars there. And then when this comes in, overnight Sunday into Monday, again, a lot of mixing going on up there, right along the Canadian border, just into New England. Going into Monday, this is where, just following the shape here, we're kind of seeing a line, kind of like a spine right there. That spine is where we might see some severe weather. So this is 0Z Tuesday, so 8 p.m. Monday. So later in the day Monday, you just want to keep an eye out for things like that. Now for the NAM here, we're just seeing, again, it's not going to go out as far, because this only goes 84 hours out. Overnight, so that's tonight into tomorrow, showers making their way through. That then starts to hit just into Connecticut and the southern parts of Massachusetts, kind of like the Boston, with some scattered showers there. But there's that snowstorm. That snowstorm continues to make its way through, and this could, again, looks like bring some pretty intense blinding snow for just brief periods of time. Thus the winter storm warning that has been issued. So that's for your day on Saturday. Saturday afternoon, it starts to clear out a little bit. Still warm here, but then we're going to see the temperature drop quite a bit. Overnight Saturday into Sunday. Then Sunday itself is going to be a little bit cooler, and I'll show you that in a second. Not as much in terms of precipitation. Most of that has made its way out of the area, going into Canada. Still quite a bit of wintry activity up there on the Canadian border. And then going near the end of this model into Monday, we see the pressure gradient here. Very tight isobars going through. And that is 0Z Tuesday. So this is 8 p.m. on Monday. And the end of this right here, this is still showing that kind of like spine of the system. This is where we could be seeing some severe weather right along this, making its way through. And this is overnight again, Monday into Tuesday, 6Z Tuesday. That is 2 a.m. So this is something to keep an eye on. And the last thing I'm going to show you here are those temperatures, which are very wild. All right, so we got our 2-meter temperatures here. All right, so starting with tonight, we're seeing temperatures in the 40s, fairly stable for the most of the area until you get up near the Canadian border. And then going into tomorrow, let's advance a couple of frames here. Starting out in the upper 50s to the low 60s for most of the area there. Still got that sharp line going from 60 to 30 in just a very short amount of time there, or a short amount of space there. And then right about here, this is where we're starting to see 60s going into the 70s in a lot of areas there. So again, just look at this. We go from, it looks like mid 70s to the mid 30s in just that little bit of a difference in latitude. So quite a temperature gradient there we're going to be seeing. So that's the wild weather with the temperatures we're going to see tomorrow. Then it very quickly starts to go back down once the sun sets. And then going into your day tomorrow, we're starting to see more seasonable temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Again, still very cold north where that winter storm is kicking through. And the temperatures, for the most part, are going to be seasonal unless you're in South Jersey going into Delmarva area. That's where we're seeing, again, the mid-70s all around that area. So very wild weather we are seeing. So that's what we can expect through the weekend and the beginning of next week. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that little look of this wild weather weekend where we're going to have a snowstorm, we're going to have severe weather, we're going to have summer-like temperatures, all in the same day, pretty much, or in the same couple of days. So that's what spring is, roller coaster of temperatures. If you want to stay updated with all the latest with this weather, this wild weather that's going on, feel free to hit that subscribe button below and then the little bell icon right next to that so you get notified whenever I upload videos like this or I go live. And I've been getting pretty regular, doing my live streams every other week, which seems to be the cadence that will be from here on out. Alright everybody, this is Chief Meteorologist Andrew Pinero. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next video.